Welcome to the VEC training session overview for a new VEC volunteer. Today we will discuss what is Voters Edge California, the structure of staff and volunteers, how data is populated in the VEC, and a brief introductory training on the data entry system, or what we call the DES. So Voters Edge California is a comprehensive, nonpartisan online guide to elections covering federal, state, and local races in the state of California. It's a project of MapLight and the League of Women Voters of California Education Fund. Now, I won't go into detail about our partnership with MapLight. To learn more about that, please visit the About Us page on Voters Edge. But what you should know is that the project is created and managed by both a LWVC EF team and MapLight staff. MapLight has designed the system with heavy input by us and also add campaign finance data to state measures and candidates when available. The data and the effort for candidate participation lies with us. We help populate Voters Edge with the information that voters are looking for, so you are a very important part of this project. On our side of things, the Voters Edge program is led by an ops team that is composed of staff, contractors, and volunteers. Not every county in California is considered a VEC participating county. In order to be a participating county, the county must have a county coordinator, who we lovingly call COCOs, who are responsible for making sure election data is entered properly in the DES. COCOs in large counties will typically have a team and need to rely on local coordinators, who we lovingly call locos, to help with this work. As you can see in the org chart, there are some COCOs who have locos and some that do not. COCOs will report to their Northern or Southern California liaison, who is part of the ops team. So as you can tell on the map, we have a lot of counties that are participating in Voters Edge. They're the counties filled in color, and we have 3 colors here. And we cover a lot of the state. Typically, if we have a league in that county, it's participating because our local leagues help recruit volunteers. But it's possible to have a participating county where there isn't a league present. Imperial County is a good example. We wanted to have a participating presence there, so we recruited a volunteer from the San Diego League to become Imperial's COCO. This really exemplifies the fact that we can continue to grow and expand our participating counties, even in areas where a league is not present. So as our team gets stronger and as our team grows, our area of covering local elections can also grow. So it may be obvious, but I'm going to say it anyway, that when you're a county or a local coordinator for a county, you're responsible for contacting candidates and entering measure info for that county. But what about districts that cover more than one county, you ask? Well, we have a spreadsheet for that. And that spreadsheet is called the Congressional and State Districts spreadsheet. It can be found on the VEC resources page. Essentially, the spreadsheet indicates which county has the lead for which district, and it's separated by 3 tabs: Congressional, State Senate, and State Assembly. The U.S. President, U.S. state contests, and state measures will all be handled at the state league level, so you don't have to worry about those contests. Similarly, there will be district measures that cover more than one county. In those cases, we will have a lead county assigned to that measure. If you're unsure about if your county is the lead on a measure, please check with me. If you know ahead of time about measures that may also affect another county, please double check that I'm aware of that, because sometimes I don't know. Basically, we don't want volunteers from different counties populating content for the same measure without being aware of each other. But we'll cover more details about the measures in the measures training session. So the kind of tools we use. We are a statewide organization, so online tools are a tremendous resource for us. We will be using Google products for our emails and for sharing documents. All VEC volunteers will have a Google account, which means they will be using Gmail for emailing purposes. All COCOs will have a VEC Gmail account with the structure CA dash your county's abbreviation at votersedge.org. Similarly, all locos will have a VEC Gmail account with the structure CA dash your county's abbreviation, your assigned number at votersedge.org. You will be required to use the Gmail account for all VEC-related communications, and those include communications to your team members and the ops team, communications to candidates, and communications to the general public, should there be any public inquiries that come to you. This is really, really important for several reasons. Continuity of contact information. Because our email addresses are standardized, it's really easy for one COCO to email another COCO without having to search for his or her email address. It's also important to keep organization records of communications, especially when they are communications with candidates. Lastly, and this is a big one for me, if a position becomes vacant, those emails are still retained. If my Fresno COCO decides to resign from her role, for example, I will still have those email addresses, those emails accessed. So the next COCO can sort of pick up already from where she left off. There is no reinventing the wheel. If you're really new to the Google world and all the products that it provides, please watch my Everything Google video. It won't explain everything Google, but it will at least go into detail about the two products that we will be using a lot for VEC, and those are Gmail and Google Drive. The other online tool we use is the data entry system, to which I refer to as the DES. So some other common vernacular that I will use often is the front end and the back end. So when I talk about the front end, I'm referring to Voters Edge California. I'm talking about the website that voters see when they log into www.votersedge.org/ca. The back end is the DES. You can access it by logging on to team.votersedge.org with any web browser, though Chrome tends to work best. Both you and the candidates will work on the back end to populate content that will show up on the front end. So let me show you briefly how to log in and what the DES looks like. So here I am on my Chrome browser, and I am at the website team.votersedge.org. And so you'll see a nice welcoming message with some information about Voters Edge. They support California, Illinois, and New York. In the upper right-hand corner is a place where you will put your username and then your password. And then you click Login. Once you click Login, a blank screen appears, and I will eventually get a nice welcome message in here, but for now it's a blank screen, and you will know that you've successfully logged in if you see a variety of tabs on the top row, which I call the top navigation bar. So that's how you log into the DES. So to navigate, as I mentioned, the top navigation bar, start at the top and then go left. So the top navigation bar is always the starting point. These are tabs you first select to choose where you want to go. And then the left sidebar is your friend. So the left sidebar is where you'll be able to search and select what you would like to add or edit, whether it's a candidate information or measures information. So let me give you an example by going back to the DES, and I can search for a measure. So to do that, you start with the top navigation bar and you click on measures. And then you go to the left sidebar, and use the search function. So you'll always need to select an election, and I am, just for an easy example, going to use the June California primary. And then select the date, and our only option is California. And then you can either select a jurisdiction, and if you don't select a jurisdiction and you don't select a contest, then you will get all measures that you could see, and obviously I can see all the measures in the state because I have statewide access, but you would see basically all the measures within your county. And then you choose one, and it automatically brings up the measures section in the DES. If you want to add something to a candidate or measure contest, you would click on contest, and again go to the left sidebar and use the search function. But let me explain a little bit what the difference is between a measure and a measure contest. So contests are categorized by jurisdiction: federal, state, county, place, and special. So most of them are pretty obvious, but place is a tricky one. A place tends to be the placeholder for city or town or you know, village. That's where you would find all of your city jurisdictions. It would be under place. So a candidate contest refers to a contest containing all candidates up for election in that race. Here are some examples, right? The U.S. House of Representatives District 6, that is a contest, and all of the candidates for that contest is within it. Think of them as like the contest being one big bubble and the candidates being all, the little bubbles within it. State Senate District 5, that is a contest, and of course all the candidates running for that contest are within it. Measure contests are the same way. It refers to all measures on the ballot in one jurisdiction. For example, all statewide measures would be under state of California. All county-wide measures, Santa Clara, for example, would be under Santa Clara County. I believe for the June primary, Santa Clara County had one measure. City of San Jose would also be another contest, right? And the city of San Jose would maybe have one or two measures on the ballot. You will also, as a COCO, have many cities. So you could have also City of Sunnyvale with all of their measures within their bubble. School districts and other kind of special districts behave in the same way. So if there's a bond measure, for example, for Franklin McKinley School District, that is the contest, and then the measure for that jurisdiction lies within the measure contest. So that's kind of the explanation between what a measure is and what a measure contest is and what a candidate contest is. So let me just quickly go over the summary page for you in the DES. This is another really helpful section. The summary page is a great place to get an at-a-glance look at your elections. So we'll start at the top navigation bar and click on Summaries. And then over on the left, you would search for an election and click Display Summaries. And what I see are all of the counties within California. What you as a COCO or LOCO will see will hopefully be just one county. So I'm going to go down to Santa Barbara County just as an example. So here's Santa Barbara County. If I click on it, it will expand, right? So if I click on the county, you will then see I have expanded to show candidate contests, and if I scroll down, you can see measure contests. You can click on each of the contests and view candidates within that contest. So I can click on Congressional District 24, and now I see all 9 candidates within that contest. You can click on it again, and that section collapses. So it it hides again. The green highlighted fields are your county's responsibility. So there may be contests that are within your county's jurisdiction, but a different county has the lead on that. For example, these assembly districts are not Santa Barbara County's leads, but part of that district resides within Santa Barbara County, which is why they're listed here. Also on the summary page, let me just expand this contest again. You can also see when a candidate's profile has an email address populated or not. This is important information to know, especially when we go to the email system and send mass emails to candidates. Similar things happen with ballot measures. Santa Barbara County did not have a measure for the June primary, so all I have listed is California. But you can click on that contest to view the measure, so I can see that one measure within that contest, and click on it again to hide. Alright, so this is just a recap of what I just showed you. The at-a-glance view of all contests in your county. Green highlighted fields are your responsibility. You can click on the contests to expand and collapse, and then there's an indicator whether or not the candidate has an email in their DES profile. So this was just a brief introductory of the DES, so you know the basics of the tools that we use to work on the Voters Edge California project. I really urge you to view some of the more in-depth training sessions on the DES, candidate contacts, approving candidate info, and entering ballot measures. For COCOs, there's also an additional training session on how to publish candidates and measures and finalize your contests in the DES. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Also, you can find the additional training videos and other valuable resources on the VEC resource page. Thanks again, and have a great day.